A very good morning, dear children. I hope you all are fine and safe with your family. Students, in English, today we will be learning unit number 2. In that, we will be learning lesson number 2.1, and the name of the lesson is From a Railway Carriage. Before moving with the poem, let me introduce to you all about our poet, R.L. Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, poet, and travel writer most noted for Treasure Island, Kidnapped, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Heady, and A Child's Garden of Verses. Before we start ahead with the poem, let me give you all a brief information about the poem, which is From a Railway Carriage. It is about experience of railway journey, which is one of the most exciting traveling experiences. Children are very fond of the pure pleasure of getting window seats. Traveling by train can be incredibly scenic. We see cities, mountains, and rivers, etc. from the seat of a train. So let's begin, students, with our first stanza of this poem. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. Hedges, students, means a line of bushes or small trees planted very close to each other. And ditches means a long, narrow, open channel dug into the ground, usually at the side of the road or a field, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows. Meadows, students, means what? A field with grass and offer wildflowers in it. All through the meadows, the horses and cattle. So, let's begin the explanation of this stanza. In the first stanza, the poet describes many scenes from the window of a railway carriage. He says that the train moves faster than fairies and witches. Fairies and witches are nothing but these are magical creatures. They are very fast because they are magical creatures. That's why they are very fast. But the train is faster than these magical creatures. Here he sees bridges and houses, hedges and ditches. The horses and cattle in the meadows seem to rush away as if they were soldiers on a battlefield. So, it moves ahead. It also leaves behind the meadows where horses and cattle are grazing. So, here, students, we did with our explanation of our first stanza. Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. Students, in first stanza, we can see rhyming words like witches, ditches, battle and cattle. The students which are given in black color, these are all rhyming words. Moving ahead with our second stanza. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain. And ever in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. In the second stanza, rhyming words are plane, rain, again, I and by. Okay students, here we have done with our first and second stanza. Now moving ahead with our third stanza. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and there is the green for stringing the daisies. In the third stanza, rhyming words are scrambles, brambles and gazes, daisies. Moving to our last stanza, here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with men and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Last stanza students, we can see rhyming words are road, load and river ever. I hope students you must have understood the beauty of the poem. If any doubt is there, you can again go through the video, and thank you so much. Now we will come to our second stanza students. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. In the second stanza, poet says that all the sides of hills and plain fly as thick as driving rain, which means how quickly raindrops falls one behind the other, the same way the train passes from hills and plain. Immediately after this, the train passes through a railway station where the whistle of the engine can be heard. Moving to our third stanza, it says, here it's a child who clambers and scrambles. Clamber students means what? Clambers means to climb up, and scramble means to move or climb quickly but with difficulty. All by himself and gathering brambles. Bramble students means a wild bush with thorns that produces blackberries. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes. Tramp students means what? A person who has no home or a job or a money. We can also say a wanderer. And there is the green for stringing the daisies. So what the third stanza means? In the third stanza, the poet sees a child all by himself climbing with difficulty and gathering bushes with blackberries. The poet also sees a tramp who's just standing and gazes at the train. As the train passes or moves forward, the poet sees ladies gathering strings to make garlands with daisy flowers. Here you can see students the image of a tramp, okay, who is a wanderer which has no home and is just looking at the train and is becoming very happy. Second, you can see students the image of the string of daisies, okay. So moving now to our last stanza. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with men and load. And here is a mill, and there is a river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Okay students, what it means? It means in the last stanza, the poet sees a cart running away in the road, moving in jerks, as it is carrying men and load. Then he sees a mill followed by a river. Mill, students, means what? It can be a small factory. Okay, students? Then he sees a mill followed by a river. Each sight is seen for a very short time, then it is gone forever. Glimpse means what, students? Which we see only for very short time. Okay, for us, not even for a second, and which is gone. So, students, here we have completed with the poem From a Railway Carriage, in which poet shares his experience of a railway journey with us. Now one time we will recite the whole poem along with rhyming words.